All right, we've got John Wroblewski, and we'll get started here with Jesse Cohen.
Hey, John, another low-scoring win for you guys. Did you like what you saw from your team in the defensive zone more than you did last night?
I liked our complete game. I thought that we came out and established the identity that we fostered here in the first 21 games and went out on game 22. And just really out of the get-go, we're one of the better forechecking teams in the American League statistically. If analytics, if you're into it, we feel like we really need to embrace that mentality also in our offensive zone play. We're one of the higher rated teams as far as time in zone and being able to convert chances in those spots. So, put the challenge to the guys today to embrace that identity. And I thought we did. And it wasn't easy to stick to that because I thought that Bakersfield was interfering with us all over the ice. And it was something that I tried to address to the referees after the second period, but the guys just kept playing right through it. And of course it leads to to the game winning goal.
You've had to juggle goalies all season long. Obviously, an AHL team has lineup issues like that with the big club, but this season seems particularly stressful for you guys. I'm curious what you liked about Filalta tonight.
Well, he seemed to have a force field on the net, which is a unique, quality for a goaltender. Just the will to keep it out. I thought that he was, positionally he was sound, but he was playing instinctually like he's going to do. But most importantly, you kind of felt that confidence from him. Even yesterday, or in particularly into the morning today, you just saw a guy that knew that he's got the ability, and then knew that a guy that wanted to reset himself after the last start. And great job by him. I was really, really proud of Matty for his effort tonight.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next up is John Hoven.
John, you talk about underlying statistics and Mikey Easymont getting rewarded tonight. From what I understand, he has some of the leading statistics in terms of creating chances in the American League. So how rewarding was it to see him finally, get going tonight? He normally is a more of an offensive force on the score sheet.
Yeah, I think that Mikey is always going to be one of those type of players where his calling card's got to be just being a thorn in the other team's side. So somebody who's just extremely annoying to play against, is pesky on the forecheck. Just a very difficult player to defend. And a lot of times, we try to preach the mantra that the work you put in today, it might not show up for, initially. You're going to have to build a base for it. And sometimes you put enough credit into your account, and then things start going your way eventually. And you have to believe in yourself and believe in the team and in the process of what's of the process you're involved in. And I think Mikey, is starting to see some of those rewards of dominating the momentum of the game for a long time, but not showing up on the scoreboard. It was great to see him get that bounce last night and then today. But I also think that there should have been a good goal to put us up 3-1 too. It was another effort that kind of vintage Eyssimont, where he powers the shot off the wing and then drives the net, and the puck squirts loose and Akil puts it in. And I'd have to go back and look, but it looked like it was an honest play for Mikey to fight for the blue paint. And it was a shame that one got called back.
And the flip of Amadio and Kapari at the center position, was that more a situation where you liked something that one of those guys was doing last night, or a situation of maybe where you didn't like what one of them was doing last night?
Yeah, we're just looking for a kind of a fit here for, working around some of the personnel. It's not, there's just slight tweaks to those lines. And obviously, you look at the difference between Turcotte and Anderson, say on the left wing, there might be a little bit more straight ahead power, one-on-one ability from Lias at this point of his career, where, we're seeing Turks as a guy that is making some plays and tight and kind of sees things one step ahead. So we thought that might have been a fit with Mods, because you never know exactly what you're going to get with a guy coming down. But Mods has proved to be an A1 player. The last two nights he was exceptional, and it was just kind of experiment, and this makes sense, and we went with it.
you make anything at all of European players playing better with each other, whether it was like Kapari with Fagamo earlier in the year, and now you're already smirking, or like Elias Anderson playing tonight with Kapari?
Well, I think that anytime you have a Finn and a Swede playing well together, that's an interesting combination right there. Because normally they don't like each other very much, but Kapari fits in really well with a lot of guys here, and I don't think you can go wrong. I think that that's kind of the mindset as well. Is we can't go wrong. We know that everything's going to be in a blender anyways because our power plays don't really line up for us to be able to kind of stack our lines that way. So we understand that in our penalty kill pairs too, the special teams have sort of dictate a little bit of how the lineup's going to end up going. And we're still sorting through where these guys are all going to fit into the special team department, and are they going to be a momentum player at the next level? Are they going to be a scoring line guy? So we're trying to just dabble and give guys different opportunities in different spots as often as possible, and just I think that's really important too for style of play. You create a conducive style, one that every guy, whether or not they're in the lineup, whether they get moved from one line to the next, that we have certain expectations for each line and or for every line, and we're just getting to that point now where I feel like there's a basic understanding of how we want to play in particularly stylistically puck decisions and in the offensive zone. We're just barely getting to it. We've got a lot of work in our D zone. That's become apparent in the last few games here, is that as teams ramp it up and are able to control pace with speed, we need to be a better defensive team. And I like that we bent tonight, but we're not getting enough clean exits. And in the preseason, if we were to go back, we were exceptional at clean exits and creating offense out of our D zone. And right now we're a little bit in a holding pattern, almost holding on too often at times. I do like our bend. I think our net front defense is very, very solid. We're quick to pick guys up and to box people out. And, that's some positives on that side of things.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And last questions here from Patrick Williams.
Yes, Coach, you mentioned that teams now are going to be coming that much harder, especially as they get their teams together. Are you sensing now that the fact that you've strung this number of wins together, that you're starting to see a lot better from some opponents, as well as like you're not just a young bunch of prospects anymore?
Well, I still think that we're fighting for respect, and I think our team is a long way off from earning the respect of the opposition. Ultimately, I think that you've got to put your time in. You've got to dominate games. We're playing well. We've got a good team brand. We have what I believe to be an exceptional team in regard to a chemistry and the way that guys like each other and the way that guys are beginning to kind of foster that environment, that family-like environment. So we're beginning that process. But as far as the style of play and how we would like to win games, we have not approached that yet. Where we're dominating a team for 60 minutes and we're lopsiding shots for 40-25, as I mentioned last night in the presser, or the scoring chances are 25-15 type of game. That's the style, that's the brand that we're attempting to build here. And we haven't even come close to seeing that yet. So as far as earning the opposition's respect, I think that maybe we're on their radar that way, but at the same time, we have such a long way to go into ultimately being a team that is feared. It's one thing to say that they can beat you and that they've got skill and they won't go away because they're hardworking and that, but what we're striving for is that plus physical domination. Physical domination with on the puck. Physically, but also physical domination in regard to playmaking, being able to make the slip plays and the things that you're seeing constantly from, say it's a guy like McLeod. We need our guys to get to that spot. And I know it's not happening. You don't flip a switch with it. I trust the process, but that's the end all, the bullseye that we're looking for. That type of performance across the board for us, in whichever skill set guys have. We want them to be physically dominant in every single game.
And as far as your special teams, What goes into the way that you construct your different units, be it PK or power play? What are you looking to try to put together, different elements wise?
Well, penalty kill is pretty simple. We want guys that are going to be defensively responsible. We want guys that are going to they have the engine, the motor to play those extra minutes to take care of the team. I do appreciate the guys having offensive qualities on the penalty kill. If they also have the right amount of grit, I think that an offensive player on the penalty kill can get into the mind of the power player. And also they have, that puck luck, being able to knock something out of the air. The puck just finds certain guys, as you see with Kapari and Turcotte a lot. So it also adds to team responsibility. If you give premier players penalty killing time, they have to take care of the team during that PK, which breeds that culture that you're trying to establish at the grassroots level, which will eventually go up to the big club. So that's the PK philosophy with the forwards. Now with the power play, it changes every single day, whether Byfield's out of the lineup or we're getting Amadio for 2 games. I really can't tell you. We're trying to come up with the best scheme that we possibly can, put guys into spots where they might be the most comfortable in our power play. We were very happy that it converted today. But there's a lot of guys, again, where we sort of, I referenced it before, where they're undetermined as to where they're going to be at the pro level. All of them have been flank guys. We've got a multitude of them. Who's going to be able to fit into the middle of a 1-3-1? Who's going to be able to play a net front position? And of course the flank spots. Who's the best at them, and who could graduate into being the best at them? All things that are not an exact science. We talk about it a lot, as you can imagine, but certainly it's constantly evolving.
Great. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. That's it for tonight.
Hey, guys.